What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we are going to be discussing what is a fairly big issue within the Destiny community right now. Now, this is already a big issue, and it's going to get even bigger as the release date of Destiny 2 approaches. Now, that issue is that people want their character progress or their character exploits to be transferred into Destiny 2 in some way. Now, this is totally understandable. People want to be awarded for their loyalty, for their dedication to the Destiny franchise. I've been playing Destiny since the Destiny Alpha for over 2 years. I have sunk, thousands of hours into this game, and many people are in the same boat. And it would be a shame if you started Destiny 2 on the exact same playing field with the exact same stuff as someone who never played Destiny. So it's a very legitimate issue for the people who want this to happen, for the people who want their exploits to be recognized in some way in Destiny 2. Now, that want varies greatly between players. Some people want a few emblems for it. Some people want their exact character to be transferred into Destiny 2 with the same weapons and armor they have right now, or at least at the end point of Destiny. However, what we're going to talk about in today's video is why that is not going to happen, that there won't be a transfer of your character from Destiny into Destiny 2. We're going to talk about some extremely logical reasons why that's just not possible, but also talk about, very interestingly, why you shouldn't want that either. Again, it's a very legitimate issue, and I do feel for these people, but again, let's get into the nitty-gritty of why exactly this isn't going to happen. Now, the first reason is that there has been maybe a little bit more than a rumor, but essentially a rumor reported from Kotaku that the Bungie developers have said this is very unlikely to happen in Destiny 2. Now, Kotaku is a fantastic source for reporting Destiny leaks. It's unlikely that this leak is wrong and every other previous leak is right. They've seriously been right with, everything else. So therefore, we already have a big hunk of evidence pointing towards the fact that this transfer of characters just won't be happening. But furthermore, I could have made this video without that piece of evidence because there's several very logical reasons why it's just not possible. Firstly, think of your character. Think of the characters, the classes, and the subclasses. Who's to say in Destiny 2 that there will be hunters, warlocks, and titans? There could be completely different classes. Perhaps even in Destiny 2, you just start one class, a Guardian, and then you have 6 or 7 subclasses to pick between, and then for each expansion they add an extra subclass. That's a possibility. Maybe it's not likely, but it is still a possibility. All of that aside, if they still keep the Hunter, the Titan, and the Warlock, who's to say that they will keep the same subclasses? They may completely reimagine what the Void subclass is for the Titan. There may not be a Defender Titan in Destiny 2, it may be something completely different. And even if there is the same classes and the same subclasses, it's likely that the subclasses will be completely redesigned. The progression will be different, the skills will be different, the grenades will be different. And let's focus on the grenades. If the grenades are different, the current armor, of course, can't transfer. What if they redesign grenades so that they no longer continually recharge and that you actually have to go and get ammo for your grenades? So killing enemies will drop grenades and you pick those up and then you can throw them. That is a possibility. Again, this is all speculation and it may not happen, but if any of those things that I mentioned are correct, armor clearly can't transfer. You can't have something like the Shinobu's Vow, which gives you an extra skip grenade in Destiny, transfer into Destiny 2 if there's no skip grenade. If skip grenades are different in some way, if there's no Blade Dancer, if there's no Hunter entirely, and all those things are very possible. So it just wouldn't work if they change the architecture of how the classes function. The current armor in the game won't make sense in Destiny 2. And the same thing will happen, likely, with weapons. if they redesign weapons in any substantial way, then the current weapons, of course, can't transfer. It's likely that in Destiny 2, we're going to be getting completely new perk layouts for weapons in-game. Hopefully much more customizable perk layouts that don't depend on getting the god roll every time and everyone is using the same roll. More, again, customization in how you use a different weapon. People using the same exact weapon, but using it in different ways and having totally different perk layouts for that same weapon and making those weapons function differently. That I think would be pretty awesome, but of course, if they do that, if they change the perk layout substantially within Destiny 2, the current weapons, of course, can't transfer because the old perk layout would make no sense. Additionally, what if they, don't have pulse rifles in Destiny 2? Pulse rifles and auto rifles are moved into an assault rifle class that encompasses them both, and perhaps we get something else like SMGs. This, again, is all speculation. I'm not saying that this is correct on anything, but if any of these changes are made, of course, it invalidates all of the current weapons and armor in the game. Now, what exactly do I mean when I say invalidate? Well, I simply mean that if any of the weapons, like the current Matador 64, was transferred into a potentially different weapons environment in Destiny 2, there would be conflict. If there is a totally different perk layout, that means you're going to have to go back and redesign the current Matador 64 so it has a new perk layout. Potentially in Destiny 2, they don't have range perks on shotguns, and instead focus on other, more differentiating perks that let you customize your shotgun more often, rather than just have perks like everyone is going to go for every time. And therefore, if any of the many changes I've brought up so far in this video are done in Destiny 2, you will need to redesign current armor and weapons to fit into those new categories, those new environments and new metas. And that's going to take a substantial amount of development time to do. Furthermore, what's the point of transferring your character as is if on the other side everything's going to be different because everything needs to be redesigned? So what we have is the very logical result of why your character is very unlikely to transfer into Destiny 2. Any substantial changes in Destiny 2 to the function of weapons, armor, classes, or subclasses will completely invalidate the current Destiny gear. It just won't be possible to transfer them into Destiny 2 because they won't make any sense in a completely redesigned setting. Now, I know that may be disappointing for some people to hear, and I'm sure I've already gotten a decent amount of dislikes from people upset that I'm even bringing up these arguments, but if you actually think about this, isn't that what you want? If you're thinking of Destiny 2, what do you want in Destiny 2? I'm sure a lot of you would actually answer, well, I want, new classes maybe, new subclasses, or at least redesigned different subclasses so it doesn't feel like playing the original Destiny. I would want improved weapon architecture in terms of perk layout, in terms of what perks are on offer, so you have much more customization, and, going for the grind and trying to loot these weapons lasts a lot longer than it does in the original Destiny. These all actually, when you think about it that way, sound like awesome things that are going to be hopefully coming with Destiny 2. So I ask you, do you really want the exact same character that you have right now to transfer into Destiny 2? Because that would require keeping the weapons and the weapon layouts the same, the armor layouts the same, the classes and subclasses the same relatively as well. And frankly, I don't think a lot of you, if you actually think about that, would want that. You want a different experience when Destiny 2 comes. You don't want Destiny 1.5, and keeping that many things the same so that people can transfer the exact character would actually, I think, be a bad thing for the Destiny franchise. We're going to need to move forward. Now, with all of that being said, do not think I'm saying, yeah, you know what, start anew in Destiny 2. That is not what I'm saying at all. I want my exploits to be counted. I want people in Destiny 2 to know that I went flawless in trials. I want them to know that I beat the Vault of Glass on hard, Crota's End on hard, all of the raids, etc. I want them to know I was playing since the alpha. I want them to know that I'm one badass motherfucker, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way. You want people to know that you spent a lot of time, that you did a lot of things within the original Destiny. So we need to kind of shape our argument as a community. Don't be arguing that you want your Matter 64 to transfer into Destiny 2. As we went over, that's not only unrealistic, but it's actually probably what you really don't want, and is kind of harmful to the game. Let's push Bungie in the right direction, and how we can do so is by them showing off our exploits through customization options. Now, there is definitely, almost entirely likely going to be customization within Destiny 2. There'll be shaders, there may actually be a redesign of call signs. For example, we could have, an actual square emblem near our character, and that's customizable, and then we have a background as well, which is also customizable. You can earn, 2 different things, just double the customization within the game. Those can somehow represent what we've done in the original Destiny. There should be a shader or emblem or whatever Destiny 2's version of an emblem would be in Destiny 2 for those of us who have completed the Vault of Glass, Crota's End, all of the raids. There should be one for going 9-0 in trials. There should be one for playing in the alpha, one for playing in the beta. Again, all of that stuff I went over before. There should be emblems and shaders in Destiny 2 that represent your exploits in the original Destiny. Emblems and shaders, maybe not shaders, but emblems are not difficult to add. Bungie can add a bunch of those. When you log in Destiny 2, you should be able to go to the kiosk or whatever you can access your emblems on, and there should be a massive amount of emblems that you can choose between for what you accomplished in Destiny. And if you missed out on one of them, you can always go back to the original Destiny, beat the Vault of Glass, and get that Destiny 2 emblem, for example. But that, I think, is a very good middle ground. People who have spent years in Destiny will have their exploits showcased in customization form in Destiny 2. I really hope in Destiny 2 people will ask me, hey, how'd you get that emblem? And I'll say, oh, this is the emblem you got if you completed all of the Year 1 Moments of Triumph in the original Destiny. It's an emblem that you can't possibly get because Moments of Triumph Year 1, they aren't available to complete anymore. That is exactly what I want. There should be totally exclusive customization options just like I described in Destiny 2. And if you can't get it, too bad. If you didn't join Destiny franchise until Destiny 2, too bad. We should have the loyalty of a lot of the Destiny players rewarded in simple ways like that. It doesn't hurt anyone if you can't get an emblem, but it does help the people showcase their accomplishments. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting. Now if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Now if you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.